There's so many things I gotta tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how. There's a possibility you look at me differently, but love, but love, ever since the first moment I spoke your name, from then on I knew that by you being in my life, things, I forgot the words, but love. I sing this song every night.
Oh, man.
The point was, because first of all, let's backtrack, context. By that time, me and my writing partner at the time, Carvin Hagens, shouts out to Carvin Hagens, we was writing these songs. And this is about like the fourth, fifth song, something like that. And I got tired of writing all of these romantic songs, you know? I was like, dude, there's gotta be something else we could talk about. So he had an idea, hey, what if we write a love song that's not a love song, but it's a love song? I was like, you talk about Carv.
We gonna talk biz on this one here. You know what I'm talking about? Big. Fuck this. I heard investment make the Forbes list. Amazon, the Rock Nation made investments himself. Go buy the building, don't be worried about the door split. Even if the mission get hard, you can't avoid it. You see me getting money, well, I'm just expressing myself. It's harder building on your own, you always welcome to help. Build a mastermind, group works in Napoleon Hill. You know.
All right, guys, we back in again for another amazing episode of Change Agents. My name is Caleb.
I'm Trav.
All right, and today we have the legendary Musiq Soulchild, man.
Hey,
how you feeling today, bro?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm in good company, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, man.
Hey, Trav, what's your favorite Musiq Soulchild moment, bro?
Moment or song?
Moment. Not song. We ain't gonna get into songs yet, moment.
My favorite Musiq Soulchild moment, non-personal, because I don't got the honor of being around him a lot,
Okay.
is when he did the game.
Okay.
Jeez.
I'm telling you, I'm a fan, bro. I got a photographic memory.
That's crazy.
People be thinking I be acting. I just be being myself.
No, that's really. And now that I know that, it's like, oh no, this nigga has this dry humor anyway, and people just don't catch it. Cause he was on the game, dog. I never. You seen the show The Game?
Yeah, right? I know. Everybody know The Game.
So I have this theory.
Yeah.
TT's character is based off of your character.
Oh, got you.
So I'm finna fan out. I'm gonna let y'all know now.
Uh-oh.
So a music episode, TT wasn't in the show yet.
Right.
But music episode was real dry humor, like
Got
real.
you. I didn't think about it like that.
And then when they did the reboot, TT was there and he gave all those same dry humor moments that, just high-end sarcasm. Like,
Got you.
Like, you really just gonna wear those shoes with that?
Right.
With a straight face?
Right.
But that's all he did the whole time. So what's yours?
Oh, man. I got several, man, but...
You can't use the ones where you shot his video. You gotta use fan moments.
Fan moments, man. It's so many, bro. Just seeing so many videos over the years. Like, for me, I'm a few years younger than both of y'all, honestly, but just growing up watching, 106 and Park and MTV and all those
old niggas.
Hey, I received it. You don't get this far by being stupid. So.
But I remember being a kid, just waiting to go to school, bro, and watching 106 and Park, and I would always see either his videos or whatever. But just those early days, middle school and elementary school, bro. Honestly, legit, that's.
No, I'm saying it because you talking about what you saw on TV.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about what was happening behind the scenes.
person.
It's crazy. It's a lot that was going on back then, but.
Yeah, so that was my experience back then, man. So just to sit next to you, bro, it's just a pleasure, bro.
Cool.
You know, just the families, the people that you've impacted, culture as a whole. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I don't want to just restate what you've already stated in other podcasts and stuff like that, but I just want to highlight, just your journey. You know what I'm saying? As a change agent in music in general.
Okay.
I think he's starting a new change.
Yeah.
And we could do this first. You got the album with Hit Boy.
Yeah, Victims and Villains. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I feel like that's probably the closest articulation of Musiq Soulchild, personally, that I've done yet. Everything else has been me doing, I've been doing my job. I've been, I say this a lot whenever I talk about this. It's up until now, I've been doing my job. And apparently, according to you guys, I've been really good at my job.
Very good at
You know, it's just that, you know, you got people they're known for what they're good for. Well, they're known for what they're good at, but they're not known for what they're good for.
Mm-hmm.
So now I wanna get into what I'm good for versus what I'm good at. You know?
You say I talk in quotes.
No, that's like
That was a bar, bro.
that wasn't a quote.
But it was a bar. It was a bar.
Anyway,
But you,
the point I'm trying to make is I'm very grateful that I was able to amass the timeline that I have that have impacted people the way that it did. But I think that I'm in a space where I need to find out what else is there. You know, I was kind of trying to get into that before, but I don't think that I went about it effectively because I think that I was still trying to hold on to something while I'm trying to start something new. So I feel like I need to completely just reroute, you know, and hopefully people that have been there will be willing to, you know, to rock with me and to see what else there is.
Yeah.
and being that Hit Boy been on a run,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Shout out Hit Boy.
shout out to Hit Boy,
yeah.
dog. Coolest. You
Yeah.
gave me the pleasure. That was my first time meeting Hit Boy when we came to your party.
Yeah.
But Hit Boy has this run of rap, like just rap genius for real. How does it feel for you to be the one he decided I'm going R&B now?
Well, that's the thing. I'm closer to a rapper than I am a singer, you know? So aesthetically, I mean, vibe-wise, in essence, you know? It's just that my calling was singing, you know? And it just made sense. So for him to you know, to peep the vibes and be willing to work, it was inevitable. Like, things that work just work. You don't have to work at it. It just works, you know? And you don't mess with it too much. You don't have to say much, you know? And I like when things move like that. It's not to say like no effort is gonna be put towards it because everything is gonna challenge you, you know, to be better. But when it's like it's a struggle, you know, and it's like, you gotta do too much. You messing with it too much, you know? So
That means it's the wrong thing.
yeah, you know, apparently it ain't right. Like, read the room, you know? So I think that because it was so effortless and because a lot of things were just understood and because there was such, you know, just an appreciation for each other, you know, the camaraderie was natural. You know, like the whole process, we didn't really say a whole lot of words to each other. Stuff just made sense. It's like, oh, that's what, okay, yeah, no, that's dope. No, oh, you get it. Oh, word, cool. All right, here's what I'm doing. Oh, that's dope. Word, yeah, that's really cool. Cool, we done? Okay, cool. Let's put it out, you know? So it was a lot of that. But I felt, you know, if anybody that would get it, not just, you know, creatively and production, music production wise, but just his timeline in the industry, you know, and the things that he has experienced, and then being having the mind that he has and being the person that he is, being the creative that he is. I think it's just a lot of it was just, it was very like-minded. You know, it's like we understood each other.
Like brothers of the same struggle.
Yeah,
that came
you know. So there's a lot of stuff you had to say a lot, you know, and we just understood and we knew where we were trying to go, and we happened to kind of be going in the same place, you know, and you know, not directly same destination, but going in the same destination, but the same direction. You know what I'm saying? Well, okay, well, you get off here and I get off here, but we can get there together, you know. And I've been looking for that without knowing that he was the one, you know, like I've been looking for that this whole time. I ran across a couple people that was kind of there, but the opportunity didn't present itself. But the people were there, and I saw the potential, but I couldn't connect it, you know. But this time with him, apparently, the time, the opportunity, the availability, all the dots were connecting, you know. And now maybe I feel like I'm able to communicate more of what the concept of Musiq Soulchild really was intended to be. You know, I feel like I had to go through what I went through in order to establish some credibility, I guess, with people, to give them some reference. And that's why people like to associate me with the R&B sound, which I apparently happen to be really good at, and I appreciate that. But it was never my intention to make R&B music, or what people call R&B music.
Do you think you need a new genre completely to describe it, or do you?
Not new.
Would you attribute it to just another genre?
I've been calling it hip-hop soul because that's what it really is.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm a child of the hip hop generation. I was raised on soul music. You put that together, and that's how you get a Musiq Soulchild.
Makes sense. And I feel like, you know, I remember it's like a coin phrase now, because Mary J. Blige is Mary J. Blige.
Right. Yeah.
But Puff created a genre name.
Yeah.
For Mary J. Blige.
Right, but it was but she's apparently she's the queen, but she's like the only, you know, member of the
R&B soul
of the hip hop, no,
hip-hop
specifically
soul.
hip hop soul.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like nobody else. You know, I don't understand. Like, and there have been people who you could say have made what could be called hip hop soul music, but they haven't had that.
They haven't had the megaphone.
There is that too, but what I was trying to say is they haven't been categorized as such. They've always been categorized as R&B. You know, and R&B, that's a whole nother thing. Like, which R&B are you referring to?
What is R&B?
No, there was an R&B that started out with Berry Gordy and Motown. That's where it started. But then, you know, officially, it was happening, but he was the one that said, you know what, I'm gonna drive this car. You know, I'm gonna give it a name, I'm gonna give it direction, you know, and I'm gonna invest in it, and I'm gonna give you the sound, I'm gonna give you the look, you know, I'm gonna make it, you know, he was Puffy before Puffy, you know. But then it changed, but no one changed the name. No one changed the category. No one changed the title. You know, you got Jammin' Lewis, you got Teddy Riley, you got Babyface, you got Devontae, you got all of these people that contributed to what we call R&B music. But even within that, they were calling it what they were calling it.
Yeah, they had sub-genres.
Yeah.
Like Blue Jack Swing.
Yeah, but everybody kept calling it R&B, 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 R&B. And it's like, if you take a time machine and go back to where R&B, you know, was created, and you play the music today that's called R&B, I promise you, they're gonna be like, that's not R&B.
Yeah.
Not to be disrespectful or to,
It's
you know,
just
to
not the
dump
same.
on it, it's just not the same. Well, so why are we calling it the same thing? And then we wonder why people are confused as to who's doing what, and they can't really appreciate what's happening because you're looking for it to be something that it never was.
Yeah.
Do you think, and this is like not to get too controversial, but do you think that's negligence, or do you think the powers that be intentionally wanted it to be confused?
I think it may be a version of, if it ain't broke, don't break it.
Yeah.
You know, if it works, let it keep working, you know, and why change it if what's happening is working, is happening, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, and I don't think that there were there was enough creative people in those executive spaces. You know, so I think there was a disconnect. You know, I don't think it was necessarily negligence. There may be some version of that, but I think it was more so just a disconnect with what was happening versus what people were trying to get done. You know, I think it was really treated like a business. You know, and I think not enough attention was being put on the creative, the artistry part of it. And, you know, I think there was a lot of dismissiveness when creators would try to be vocal and be like, hey, maybe we might want to try to do things this way. Hey, I don't want to do this. I want to do this. And it's like, nah, you don't know what works. I know what works. I had so-and-so. I'm responsible for this, that, and the third. I know what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, that was cool for that time, but times have changed. Right. And you don't want to shift with it because you want what worked before to keep working, but that's not how life works. Right. You know, so then I feel like people try to force things, you know, and a lot of shenanigans came out of that. So, and I think that kind of derailed the potential for creativity. And it's like, if you don't, you know, do what somebody else did, then you're not going to do what somebody else did, then you're not going to be successful. Like everybody wanted a number two, you know what I'm saying? Or a carbon copy of something that works. It's like, but the thing that you want somebody to mimic wasn't a thing before.
It was new.
It was new.
Right.
So why not just let more new things happen? You know, you might come up on the next new thing. you know? But like I said, I don't think that there's a lot of creative, you know, perspectives in that, you know, executive space where they can have somebody to be like, I don't know, man, you might want to invest in it because this is about to be something. Yeah. It's like, nah, it don't look like nothing I recognize. I know this one, but there's already one of these, 10 of these. Like, why would, yeah, it means that it works. So let's do another one. It's like, bro, like, come on, man. I just think that if more people would be willing to be more open, excuse me, to the fact that people don't fit in all of these genres and categories that are pre-established, maybe give it a minute to find out what it is and think for yourself. Like, you know, don't just regulate it to, oh, that's just R&B. Like, no, it's a little bit of a lot of things so that you can appreciate it for what it is versus nitpicking and critiquing it for how much it's not like the thing that you're used to, you know? So
one thing I wanted to ask, you spoke about like cultivating spaces for like new things to come into fruition, right? Mm-hmm. What's the best environment for you specifically to create the level of music that you know that you're capable of?
The best environment? I mean, the studio?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know that, but just like, this person not being in the room or like,
okay. Yeah. I mean, ideally, it would be, a situation that has the resources to push whatever I do. So essentially, it would essentially be a major. However, with the sensibility that you don't know everything.
Yeah.
You know, despite your timeline, not to disrespect your timeline, but you don't know everything.
Right.
And be open to allow things to become more than what they are.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, business says, why would you invest in something that you don't know? However, I have a timeline and I have credibility. At least that should count for something.
Right.
Like, I'm not just going to do literally anything.
Right.
You know, and your perspective is important only from the viewpoint of how to make it move. Mm-hmm. But how to make it, I don't need your input.
Right, right.
Because I need for that to be as authentic as possible. Mm. Now, after I make a thing, then we can have a conversation about, okay, well, what is it? Okay, who can I push this to? Who would be interested in this? How can I market this? How can I, what is the audience that I have to put, that this caters to?
Right.
Where should I put my money?
Right.
You know, when you try to do it during the process, it clouds it too much.
Yeah.
And then it makes it a thing where you don't really make anything for anybody because you're trying to do too much for too many people.
You're making a bottled water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just
literally
mass producing whatever can go to.
Yeah, and just understand that everything ain't gonna be for everybody, but for who it's for, they're gonna want it as raw as it can be, you know? So it can't be stepped on, it can't be messed with. Like, you gotta leave it alone. Because when you try to like finagle it to try to make it good for other people, they're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
And then the people that really want it is gonna feel like, it could be better.
Yeah, you gave me a little bit. If you would have just.
Yeah, and then now if you wanna get those other people, find a person that does what they like.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to get this one artist to do multiple things for multiple demographics. You're gonna spread that artist thin and they gonna wanna do nothing no more. Like, they're gonna be too stressed out. They're not gonna care.
Yeah.
And I think, like, that's what made me want to get into management. Like, I managed Cantrell. I used to manage Alex.
Yeah, Cantrell's a homie, yeah.
Who's, all of those are people that you know.
Yeah.
But one of my things was,
Let me try. Let me try.
Shout out, let me try.
Shout out David, too, also.
Yeah.
But one of the things I wanted was, because I was already making money in a different industry, my whole point of, if I'm gonna do this, what value can I bring? And the value I wanted to bring was, I wanted to fight for y'all to have that freedom.
So the first thing that needs to happen is, it would help the situation so much more if you were more receptive.
Yeah.
If you were more willing to listen than to, sort of like give people their marching orders because you need for it to work for the business. It's like, bro, I don't even know how to care about that.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't.
I don't know how to care. Like, I would if I understood what that world was, but I don't, because I'm in this world, and they don't go together. You know, it's like, that's why you need an artist and then you need management.
Yeah.
The artist's job isn't to sell music.
So stop having conversations with me about who I need to make music for.
Right.
I don't operate that way. I just make the stuff, and I'm loyal to it, and I gotta make it the best way, as close to how it came to me as possible. It's gonna be more and more challenging for me to do that if I gotta get this side convo in my head. So now here's this tug of war that I gotta make a decision on. Do I go with the vibes or do I go with what my manager said because I gotta get this money?
Right.
It's like, bro, like that's not my
license.
That's not my responsibility. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility as a creative is to create.
That's it.
Okay, your responsibility as a manager is to manage.
It's to manage.
So I'm gonna do what I do and then I'm gonna hand it to you. Now, if there are some things that I can do and we can have a conversation about it, like, yo, I like this, I think it's dope. Is it possible that we can add something to it or we can do something else in connection with it where we can try to go for it? Cool, then I'll think about that. And then I'll do something, I'll try to give you the best that I can do. You know what I'm saying? So it's not to exonerate me from responsibility of the success at all. It's just understanding what my strong point is, what my strong suit is. Your strong suit is to, okay, how can I communicate this product to the most receptive demographic of people so I can get this person the most money possible?
But that's the key word.
Yeah.
The key word is the most receptive group,
Yeah.
not the most amount of people.
No.
Like,
Because
if this is what you want to make, I need to get it to
because if you can get the people that want it anyway, that really rock with it, that really understand, they will almost inherently be low-key the marketing and the promotional team anyway, because they're gonna talk about it, they're gonna post it, they're gonna be playing it, they're gonna be singing it, they're gonna vouch for it, they're gonna pull up to the shows whenever you say, yo, I'm pulling up, like, you know, come through. Like, they're gonna do that, and then people from the outside is gonna see that and like, yo, what is that?
We wanna go to their world.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, they just care.
Yeah.
They just care. That's
so
it.
why would you essentially waste time trying to get people who don't care about something they don't get?
Right.
Because you just want to get more bodies. Like, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of time.
And it's a waste of passion.
Yeah.
Because all artists that I know that run out or drown out, it's never because they run out of passion for the music.
No.
They run out of passion for what you're trying to do.
Because it contributes to an environment that makes them feel that what they do is not good enough.
Yeah.
Because it's not being received as they would like for it to be. So to them, it comes across like, dude, nah, that's trash. Like, no, it's not trash. It's just to the people who don't get it and don't want it, they don't care, so you feel like they think it's trash. No, it's just not for them.
Yeah.
Go find the people that want this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that as an executive and as a person that focuses more on the logistics and how to make the money or whatever, I think that you will serve the situation better if you don't try so much to infiltrate the creative space and you try to that you do your best to connect the dots and fill in the gaps. You know, that the creative person is just, they're not even on that type of time.
Yeah.
Like I used to always tell them, I don't even want to come to the studio until you're 80% done. And that's not because I don't want to show up.
Right.
I want you to get your palette together without my input.
Right.
Because when I write books. I don't want nobody to say nothing until
I won't say don't show up, because you should show up in every part of the process, because it will give you a deeper understanding and appreciation for it. But you did say just shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing.
I might sit in the kitchen, like you know layers. I might sit in the kitchen.
Yeah, just be around so that you can soak up the vibes. That way, when you have to communicate what this is to a person, you have all of that information. Be like, no, I seen it when it was nothing. I saw it when it was becoming something. I saw when it changed. Now I understand the intent behind it. So now I can use more words to explain it to somebody who has no concept or no context of what this is. You know, and I can do it from an intimate level. And I have the bonus of knowing that was all my artists. So I can put them anywhere and they don't need my input. You know what I'm saying? It's like a parent, like you got to teach your kids to the point where they don't need you anymore. If they need you all the time, it says more about you as a parent than it does about the child. Like you didn't teach this kid nothing? What's wrong with you? You got to be everywhere? You going to zip up their pants when they done peeing too? Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you gotta be around so that you can understand from your perspective who you're dealing with, what you have, so that it can kind of contribute to your almost like your spidey sense, that things you might not have thought of before, because you was a part of that process, and you may be in a space that may be good for that artist. It's like, yo, I remember I was at the studio and I caught this vibe when they was working on something. It kind of felt like this. Maybe I might want to set them up in the art museum. That might be cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Get them a little space in like a, with some paintings and that. Like you could be more abstract with it versus trying to recreate or reinvent the wheel and do what somebody else already did. That may not work for that artist. It don't mean that they're not good. It just means that they need something different.
They need something else.
Something different.
It just needs something different, man.
So back to the album. When you made the album, did you know you wanted to shoot a video to every song?
Not when I started, but I think what happened was, because it was such a new space for people, and just learning from my past, I didn't want to just leave it up to whatever for people to kind of get the vibe. So we live in a very visual reality with social media and digital content, that I wanted to get in that traffic and kind of help people see, like, visual aids, they really help a lot. Like, how many times have you heard a song and you thought of it, it felt one way, but then you saw the video, it was like, wow, that just opened up a whole new dimension to the song that I just never thought of, So I wanted to kind of use that element to help people understand, like, when I make stuff, I put a lot of thought into it, and I know a lot of things can get lost in translation when there's nothing to help them, plus, a lot of people's attention is all over the place, man, so you can't expect them to sit down and really big brain your songs. They're going to hear them, they're going to, oh, that's cool. But when you give them the video, now other parts of your mind kind of got to get involved. Other parts of your feelings kind of got to get involved, because now you can start associating that with yourself. You can start seeing you in it more, because you're seeing these people depict these stories in ways that you probably wouldn't have imagined yourself. And now it makes it realer, almost. So, and then I've always wanted to work with Caleb. We're not get into.
Oh man, come on, bro.
How many start and stops? But I saw an opportunity and I was like, bet, let's go, because I wanted to do I wanted to do a video for every song on my last album, but. That's 24 records, so and I wasn't signed to a major, so
24 videos.
24?
Yeah. I would have did it.
I would have did it too, man.
I would have did it. But the resources weren't there. It just wasn't available to me at the time, and I had to eat that. But this time, and plus I was more active, so I was, because I'm funding this myself. There's no, there's a little help here and there, but I'm like, this is very, low key, out of pocket records.
Out of pocket records. T-shirt.
Okay. So, and for the record, shout out to Varied Street, because that's the label that I'm doing this through. So shout out to Varied Street, a subsidiary of Def Jam Records. So, they didn't have to, but they decided to, they chose to. And it was really cool how the process happened, I'm sure it had a lot to do with, Hit Boy. So I'm definitely grateful for that relationship sparking this situation, because honestly, I wasn't really interested in putting out an album because, I was still working through some stuff.
I remember you told me that a year ago.
I was
a year ago. I don't know if you remember this. So we did Simple as Christmas.
Oh yeah.
So the
yeah.
session, it was just
Here
me.
actually.
Yeah.
Downstairs.
Right down there.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about when we did the recording.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the song.
The song.
Oh, got you.
Oh, even before the shoot.
Yeah. That was like, yeah.
So this is my favorite personal Musiq Soulchild moment. Right?
Oh, okay.
So
You bring it back full circle.
we was at Layers. It's me, Musiq, Lex, and Keela. Keela shot the BTS video.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
So we were in there, and you know, I've been around music a few times, but I've never been in the studio with you.
Right.
Like normally, if I'm at Layers and he come in and record with Lex, I go out the room because just out of respect, like he don't know me, I don't want to be in nobody's session that didn't invite me there.
Right.
But this time I had like a reason to be there. And we had a very organic conversation in between these takes where he was like, he come in, he was chilling, be like, oh, okay, Lex, I need to sing this part. He'll go in the studio, in the booth. Perfect. One take, right?
One take.
But then he would do a take, and then he would talk about like why he wants to sing it in this key or where he was going. We went into a real conversation about family and art and singing. And then I asked him, I'm like, so, because I knew Lex, worked with him all the time, but at this point I wasn't even asking from a business perspective. It was just like, okay, being in this studio makes me want an album.
Right.
And I said, so when are you gonna do another album? We went to the kitchen, we sitting around the kitchen, he was like, I'm not in the space to do one right now.
Yeah.
And it was like bittersweet for me, because from a fan perspective, I want the album.
I know.
Right.
But from this experience we just had, I completely understood why he was like, I'm not in the space for that right now.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of people understand how real that is. They just think that you just being lazy, you procrastinating, you on some bullshit. Like, I don't know what people think, man, but it's just entitlement.
At the end of the day, man, like, you still human.
Yeah,
we
but to people,
human,
but,
you know?
but a lot of people, you're Mickey Mouse to these people. Like, you're not a person.
Yeah.
You're a thing. I just had a woman pull up on me in Publix. I was with my son, and she was excited. I know she didn't mean any harm. You know what I'm saying? Older black lady. She was sweet, but some people don't know how to engage and interact with people that they have that type of like admiration for. So could you sing just a little bit? I was like,
oh my God.
Could you dance, nigga?
Lady.
Like what? Like
I hate when people do that.
And I know she didn't mean any harm, but it's like it's because it's like you're walking Spotify. You're walking Pandora. You're walking,
It's almost like somebody coming
radio
to me
station
and being like, "Hey, can you take my photos?"
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the mall. Like,
Bro.
no, I'm not doing that.
Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody
I'm
else
not
to do
doing
it. But that's the
disconnect.
Well, well, I was going to go in a different direction. That's the connection that they have with you.
Yeah.
You're the video guy.
Yeah.
So if you take my picture, it's bigger.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, true.
And with me, it's like, I can listen to the song. I can go play the song. I can hear him on the radio. But if I can get him to sing in my face right now, it's a bigger thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Now I get to tell everybody I deserve
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
So it's such a thing where, I think that there needs to be, in my personal opinion, a better curation of how artists or public figures or whatever, how people engage with them. I don't know where that could be. Maybe something they teach at schools, but they give class on it or something like, hey, when you meet an artist, don't just pull your phone out. Like, dude, what are you doing? Because some people feel entitled to that.
Yeah.
They feel like, you're a celebrity. I'm supposed to take it. I'm supposed to invade your privacy. You owe me.
I think the biggest thing is that, like, we're just a product of information, right? So with that, like, the Michael Jacksons, the Beatles, fans would run on stage and pass out from just seeing them,
Yeah, that whole fanatic thing works for business because it creates interest and urgency.
Yeah,
I get that,
yeah.
but the byproduct of that is people who ain't got no respect.
That's true. That's true.
Then you black out and
then now you're the villain.
Yeah, you're the villain then at that point.
Yeah, when actually
No
you're
point
the
intended.
victim, right? You're the victim because because your personal space was violated.
Right.
So how would you react if your personal space was violated? But for some reason, I'm not supposed to react that way because I'm a celebrity, I'm a public figure. I asked for this. I should have saw it coming, right?
you always gotta be on.
We're held at a higher standard.
Yeah, no, and but see, that's the thing. Like a lot of us, like our product, whatever it is that we present to you people, that is our way to deal with ourselves and our lives. Like our music is the thing that helps us to keep things stable. Mm-hmm. And that don't make us better than you.
Right.
You're actually better that you don't need to be all creative and all of that. Right. You can just get on with your life, you know. But no, I need to focus and I need to. I gotta figure it out. Okay, now, okay, cool. Now I can get through my day. It's like a person, they ain't, when they hungry, don't talk to that person. Just wait till they eat first.
Right.
Now it's a more pleasant individual.
I'm definitely hangry.
Okay.
I'm a hangry person.
So now take that with, us being creative. Our lives are always consistently, in this weird, uncomfortable space because the reality that we live in don't necessarily cater to that perspective. Mm-hmm. We're always called weird and odd and different. And it's like, no, we just see life the way that we see life. And it just so happened to be unique to, ourselves and you guys. And when we try to talk about it, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't understand what I'm saying. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
There you go.
But I was talking to somebody, I don't want to say who it was, and I was like, but they're a celebrity, right? Mm-hmm. And I was saying how this whole time period now, it's all these cliche things, safe space, mental health.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But none of it applies to celebrities.
Nah.
It's crazy.
We supposed to still be high functioning, and not have no moments or whatever. Like, where do you think all of this is coming from?
Right.
It's like, okay, so maybe I can help somebody understand. All right. Apparently, this is an observation that I made.
Right.
Apparently, I don't know everything. I've been wrong before, will be again. So let me just put that disclaimer out there. But apparently, we have to basically go through stuff so that we can have stuff to talk about, so that we can make the stuff to help you go through your stuff.
A, B, C, D.
So you gotta imagine how very not regular our lives will be. You don't know what we just came out of, what cave we didn't have to crawl out of in order to get you this stuff.
Yeah.
So that means, but we gotta feel it. We gotta experience it. It gotta be real.
And you actually gotta do it twice.
Yeah.
Because you gotta go through it, and then you gotta
write about
relive it for the art.
No, 3 times. Then we gotta hear you talking about it.
Yeah.
Then you gotta perform it.
Yeah. 4 times. Yeah, it's just layers on layers on layers. Layers. I did that.
There you go.
No point in saying.
That's at the Layer Studio.
All this shit.
But it's layers to this, man. And I think that's what I mean by there should be a better curation of how to engage and interact with public figures, especially creative, public figures, because our lives are not the same.
Right.
We don't live the same life. Again, it's not a matter of us being better than you or lesser than you. It's just different.
It's just different.
It's just different. Like people that live a certain type of life, it's just different. And I don't think that there is enough appreciation and consideration to that. I think people, they just want to feel like there's some camaraderie and there's some parallels to their life. Yeah, I mean, we're humans and we can walk around and we eat, talk, and use the toilet, but I feel like we're all living in different realities, and we just need to be more respectful because you don't know what a person is going through. So stop assuming that you do and reacting out of you being triggered by something they're not even realizing that you're triggered by.
Exactly.
Say something like, oh, my bad. I didn't mean that. Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't mean that. So
yeah,
we good?
We good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
as opposed to, man, you know what he said? No, I didn't.
No.
I don't know that you the one that got hurt. I'm just talking.
A lot of problems can be solved with the proper communication.
Yeah,
That's
man.
it.
Yeah,
That's
man.
And you say that a lot, which I completely agree with. Some problems can also be solved without communicating.
Yeah, just shut up.
Like, just leave me alone. Leave it.
Just leave it.
It's okay.
It ain't about you. Stop.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to make it about you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna hurt if you're looking for it. Stop. So I think that we as creative people, and I had to learn this the hard way, I needed to stop trying to be normal.
Yeah.
Facts.
Because I was so subconscious that I felt people thought that I was thinking that I was better than people because I was doing something that was more celebrated. As everybody, screaming my name and giving me all of this, love and attention. But I had to stop doing that. It's like, well, what did you expect? You're doing something that people like. Of course they're gonna respond that way.
Yeah.
Don't take that away from yourself because you don't want other people to feel bad about it. That ain't you. That's not a you thing, man. That's a them thing.
That's a them thing.
Yeah, so I had to get out of my own head about that, you know. I had to stop trying to be normal. And when I stopped doing that, I stopped stressing so much because I stopped making myself responsible for things that happen that I don't have no control over. I can't control how you feel.
Right.
You know, I can't control how a person responds to what I do. You
and
know?
you just stigmatizing yourself based off their feelings.
Yeah, nah, man, that's not cool.
And I like using words that are stigmatized to describe greatness. So I feel like you can't be great unless you're crazy. And then
Let's unpack that.
I truly believe
I got what you meant. See? But somebody else is gonna say, so all creative people look crazy. It's like, no, we're perceived as crazy because you don't understand what's happening.
Right.
But let other creative people get around other creative people. Oh no, I get it.
They speak the same language.
Yeah.
I've never seen a high successful creative person not understand what Kanye. They might not agree with him, but when they see it, they know what he's going through.
No, completely get it.
He say crazy. I call it passion.
Yeah, passionate, crazy. Yeah, whatever. But you know, it's you know, you have to. It's like you got to go through certain specific things in order to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
If you never go through those specific things, you will never understand. And the person will sound like they're talking gibberish to you.
Yep.
They'll sound like they're crying. They sound like they're making excuses. They'll sound like a lot of things if you don't understand what's happening. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who are,
nuts.
They're like unstable and they need help, because it's just an imbalance, and they're not in control of that, and they need somebody to go see about them. However, you have other people who are adjacent to that space, but they are in full control. It's just that they're trying to manage more than you can imagine right now. And I don't have the time to explain to you all that's happening. I just don't. Now, a person that gets it, you don't have to say less. Oh no, I get it. You're going through what is cool. What you need me for? I got you. But then most people, on average, not to say that they don't have their own stuff. It's just not this.
It's not at that rate.
Yeah, and it's not at that level, yeah.
So I wanna go back I wanna get into Musiq the Fan too.
Okay, cool.
What was the first artist or project that made you say, I have to do this?
D'Angelo.
Which one?
Very first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he represented something that I didn't know was possible. And the reason why that's so significant is because I couldn't see myself being successful in an industry that didn't look and sound like what I was trying to do. However, at the same time, I totally loved and was inspired by what was happening. There's a lot of people that I admire, and I've had the opportunity to run into them and be like, yo, I used to listen to you, blah, 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 blah. But I was never interested in doing what they were doing because it didn't feel like it wasn't me.
So he represented, this is the new HOV lane that I can be in.
Yeah, that's the way of putting it, yeah.
Yeah.
And when he happened, I was like, so you're saying there's a chance? Because I wasn't gonna, I didn't feel comfortable doing what the people that were successful at the time, that the lanes were open for me to do. I wasn't interested in those things. I liked it, but I didn't want to do it. I got it, but I don't talk like that. I don't move like that. I don't act like, I don't dress like that. I don't think like that. I don't disagree, or I don't judge and critique them in a negative way. That's just not me. And that's why my first song, if you notice, Just Friends, that was a very, non-aggressive way to approach women. And the reason why that's a point to make is because I wasn't getting girls growing up. I had a lot of insecurity issues, challenges with self-esteem and confidence. So I wasn't just pulling up the girls and asking them for their number or whatever. I didn't think that I looked good enough for any girl to be interested. Plus, I was processing a lot of childhood trauma at the time, so I didn't want to rope nobody into that, and that goes down a rabbit hole that's unnecessary to get into at this point in time. However, I'm making this point to say that because of that, I couldn't see myself on stage, being this pimpy, suave dude. Like I just
sex symbol.
I wasn't. There's no with the t-shirt on. I wasn't that guy. You know what I'm saying? Because that wasn't my timeline. I was the guy that was like, hey, excuse me, I know you like to tussle. Calm down. I just think you cute, and I just wanted to holler at you. Is cool? Okay, get your number. We could talk. No, okay, cool. It's all good. All right, be about your day. God bless you. Yeah. Whew.
Man.
That was my timeline. So that's why the song "Just Friends" is what it is, because that was really how I moved.
And how did you feel the first time you heard Lil Duval's version?
Dude is a fool, man.
Shout out Lil Duval.
Shout out to Duval.
Yeah. I thought it was creative. I never thought of it in that way. So to see it, I was like, first of all, I was like, oh, wait, calm down, buddy. Wait a minute, that is funny though. That is hilarious.
Because he was real aggressive, but it was comic view.
Hella aggressive, yeah. But I thought it was funny. I thought it was especially funny because, short dude like me, nice. Okay, I get it. But
he do look like, back then he did look like the thugged out version of you.
Yeah. He was my alter ego.
The braid,
Yeah.
Same height.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dial it back, Luther down.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's
I got another one.
Anyway, yeah, man. So he was definitely on something with that. I thought it was hilarious. Yeah.
What's the album that came out since you've been out? So since 2000, what's the album that came out that you wish you made?
That's a great question. We're just holding for the train, but that's a great question.
No, I'm actually literally thinking.
Perfect pause again.
What's an album that came out since 2000 that I wish I made? Since 2000?
I'll tell you where I got the question from.
Okay.
And maybe that jargon a little bit. Kanye and Drake always have this little back and forth thing. Right? So I remember watching an interview where Kanye was like, when Drake made, and Kanye directed the video, when Drake made Best I Ever Had, Kanye said that's the first time he said, I wish I made that song.
Got you.
And it inspired him, but it also scared him.
There are songs, but I don't know about albums.
What's the song?
There's a few songs that came out that I wish I made.
Creatively or commercially? I want to do creatively.
It's creatively. It wouldn't have been commercially. I don't really think in terms of that. But creatively, actually, Best I Ever Had is one of them. Yeah, Best I Ever Had is definitely one of them. It's an Omarion record.
Shout out, Met him at your party too?
What's the name of it? I think it's called Superstar. It
was a single. I know what you're talking
about.
Entourage.
Shout out Entourage.
Entourage. I think I'm singing something Superstar. It's Entourage. My bad. Yeah, Entourage. Entourage was a record I was like, that's dope. I like that one. That's a song that I wish I made. That's a song.
Shout out to X, our engineer, for giving us the answer.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, I think Omarion's Entourage is a song that I wish I made. I think the vibe of it is so dope, and it's in my mind it's a very Musiq Soulchild-ish song. It's a very Musiq Soulchild-ish record to me. It's a few of them. Since 2000, that's another thing. That's where you saying since 2000, essentially since I came out.
Entourage does give me Buddy. It's like
ish.
It's
just the bounce. It has a nice bounce to it.
Same kind of pocket.
Yeah. That's a really good song. I like it.
That's a good answer too.
This might be a little left.
Let's go.
But Many Men.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nobody would have got that from the nigga that made love.
Many Men and 21 Questions.
I can see
21 Questions.
Yeah.
But Many Men?
Not the song, the hook. The Many Men.
Okay.
I
can't see.
You know,
50 this ain't a sample, bro. Don't snatch this down.
Yeah. But I was a huge Fifth fan. Like, bro. Anyway, yeah, still is though. But yeah, Fifth. Yeah, like my hip hop heart was like, let's go,
Let's get on.
let's go. I ain't never heard nothing like that, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Get rich or die trying.
50 got the best rookie year of all time.
Man.
I don't care what nobody says.
I even like the Massacre too.
I like the Massacre. I don't know about Curtis.
Yeah.
What, bruh? Anyway, we're not about to have.
To me, certain albums or certain songs
Conversation
can be great if somebody else made them.
Bro,
I didn't want Curtis from 50.
We're not about to have this conversation.
Hey, yo, technology.
We're not about to have this conversation. We're not about to have this
I'm gonna leave it
conversation.
alone. Next question.
Yeah.
How do you feel when artists sample your music?
Oh, I'm honored. I'm grateful that I did something that was significant enough that another person wanted to associate themselves with it. You know, I don't think people understand the scale of what's happening. So let me again attempt to try to make it make sense. The fact that you, out of all the people in the world, out of most people in the world, are able to find yourself on somebody's platform where the world knows who you are, that within itself is an accomplishment. So when we want to mince words and critique how good the fact that you're even talking about me,
Things I did.
I won.
Yeah.
So for a person to like what I did and then want to make that a part of what they do, that's nothing but a blessing, man.
Yeah.
That means you did something that the world has to deal with now.
Mm-hmm.
What if you don't like the song?
What do you mean, what if I don't like
What
the
if you
song?
don't like what they did with the sample?
It doesn't matter what they did. It's not up to you.
Yeah.
The fact that you're even considered, like it could be essentially trash. I don't care. That I didn't do that. That's what they did. I'm grateful that they thought enough to want to do something with something that I did. I don't know. Maybe that
I'm
may
grateful
be
for the attempt, no matter how it turned out.
Yeah, it don't matter because that's not mine. Yes, I know it has an ingredient of it was something that I did, but we're all renting this, man. We can't take it with us when we leave. So,
But you were still cleared.
yeah.
That's dope. I like sample conversations because I know a lot of times.
Now, let me just for the sake of, now I may have to be considerate of how whatever they do may interfere with my productivity professionally.
Got it.
By being associated with something that I don't believe in.
Right. Got it.
So I can't do that.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with, whether I like it or not. Like, it help that person out, just cut the check.
Okay. Favorite video with Caleb?
But before we
We're
get
not
to
doing that. Go ahead.
Before we get into that,
That doesn't exist. As a matter of fact, it exists in multiple dimensions.
Yeah,
They're all my favorites.
multiple dimensions.
I will say that Touch the Sky was hard, though.
We definitely did that one.
That Touch the Sky was,
Yeah.
that was, yeah.
That nigga did with the lakes? Never mind.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, we can
But then
jump into
again,
it.
well, anyway, go ahead. You want to say?
So before we get into like our videos, because that was gonna be the last thing I wanted to touch on before we
okay.
closed out. But I wanted to ask you just to piggyback off of what he was saying. What's one video or one song, one record that you've done that you wish you would have did a video for?
It's too many. But did one that I wish I would have did a video for
If you could pick out one.
in the past?
Yep.
I got like 3 in my head.
Yeah. Didn't I just tell you I was trying to do 24 of them? Oh man. I can't even. It's like this one. Like, no, they're all different. I don't know. Like,
I got a hater flip to that question if you want.
Uh-oh.
What's one you wish you could redo?
Man, there's so many.
I don't like you, man.
That's why I'm here.
You toxic as hell, man. You just trying to start shit.
You know what I do?
Golly.
You know, shout out all the directors for all the videos.
Hey, yo.
You know what I do. Don't let him fool y'all. You know what I do.
Hey,
I'm
yo.
the shit starter.
Let me do this.
All right.
So the reason why I would change them has nothing to do with the directors.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the treatment per se. It has a lot to do with the fact that I wasn't really rocking with the person that I was back then versus the person that I am now. I would have done it differently. You know, I don't like a lot of the ways that I was portrayed, that I agreed to, that, you know, I allowed people to rope me into and agree to, that, you know, is a lot of narratives that have spawned out of my presentation in the past that I don't agree with, but I wasn't in control. I was pretty much leaving it up, you know, to a lot of people, and I was allowing myself to be influenced because I was operating out of this mindset of, well, I don't know everything and these people are paying, so I might as well do what they say.
I don't want to piss nobody off.
Yeah, I don't want to piss nobody off, and for somebody to be like, hey, no, you're out of here, you know, because I learned, you know, in therapy that is called, you know, imposter syndrome, and I already felt like I didn't belong. You know, so I'm just waiting for security to be like, yo, get him out of here, you know? So I just like, dude, just shut up, put your head down and keep working, and maybe they won't notice that, you know, you finessed the game, you know? Because everything was happening so fast and I didn't understand what was going on. And I didn't know nothing, but my survival instincts were so strong that people thought that I had it sold up and figured out. Like, I really didn't. Most of my timeline, I had no clue what I was doing, you know? And it's not to, you know, remove myself from accountability. It's just the fact of I did not know a lot, you know, so, you know, I put on, you know, this facade like, oh, I got it. No, I didn't, you know, and it looked a lot like, you know, I did because, you know, I had good senses. I was able to discern situations, you know, pretty fast, you know, but that's what you get, you know, from being in survival mode. You know, you read the room quick, you know, which is hostile and which is friendly. Like, figure it out, you know. But when it came to the music industry, I didn't understand that you could have people who weren't friendly can present like they're friendly. You know, I didn't know about, you know, I didn't know about that type of mentality until I got in the business, you know. And you lead with love, you know, at the risk of becoming food, you know? So I had to learn how to keep love in my back pocket and use it sparingly, you know? But that's something I had to learn the hard way. But saying all of that to say, because I was that type of person in the past, I went along with a lot of things that I didn't completely agree with, but I understood how it could work. So me being a team player and just, you know, I'm addicted to productivity. You know, I just went along with it, you know, and I didn't have a big enough voice or enough people to really support my ideas because, you know, again, there's that communication thing. People didn't fully, completely understand what I was trying to say, you know, and they wanted to win. They wanted to be able to say, I did that. That was my idea and blah, blah, blah.
I'm the one made you get that. Then we want to say, I'm the one that helped you get that person.
Yeah, everybody wanted their little points.
Yeah.
You know, so I wasn't a good enough advocate for myself. You know, so I have very mixed feelings about my timeline. You know, when people come up to me and they give me mine and, you know, about the stuff, and I appreciate it because I understand how it impacted them and what their takeaway, you know, potentially would have been. But I would do all of that shit over, you know, creatively and personally. Now, with that said, though, not to take away from the fact that, because, you know, you can't unhappen what happened. You know, I'm grateful that it did go the way that it did because I learned a lot and it made me who I am today, and it gave me the perspective that I have now that I can use that to my advantage. Like, you're gonna get this work one way or another, you know. You know, you're either gonna go learn it and pay for school or whatever, or you're gonna learn it the hard way, you know. And apparently my timeline is, you know, you gotta learn things the hard way. You know, because you're trying to do too much and it's too broad, you know, so things have to be moments and experiences have to be significant enough for you to be like, oh, that's why I don't do that. Got it, you know. Maybe not now so much, but in the past, yeah, you couldn't tell me nothing, man. Like I was trying to see something everywhere, you know. But I'm older now and I've been through enough, you know, and I walked out of a lot of situations that I can't even tell you how I walked out of it. You know, I just be grateful and appreciate the blessing and try to pay it forward by doing better. You know, so that's why a lot of people don't understand with creatives, and I'm sure that other artists go through this in their own way. We're not being defiant. We just been through too much to sit here and listen to you like you got a point.
Yeah.
So just let me cook, bro.
Let me cook.
Speaking of cooking.
Let's go.
Oh, man. Like, I remember it was late last year, man. I get a call from Norm. I ain't heard from Norm in forever. Mm-hmm. He hit me up like, yo, like, we trying to lock in for these videos. So I just really want to talk about like just that process of like curating the videos for the album. Mm-hmm. That process. I remember we met up at Layers and like we sat down for like, what was it, like an hour, 2 hours?
Maybe, yeah.
Not even that. And we just listened to the album, you know what I'm saying? And we came up with a real game plan and executed from there. So I really want to just talk about that, like just the concepts and the process and everything like that, just leading up to the videos that have been out and the ones that we are releasing soon too.
A lot of it was a graceful freestyle, you know, because we didn't have a lot of time, we didn't have a lot of resources, you know, so, you know, I got really, really, really extremely massive ideas, you know, that, you know, like in a perfect world, we got a backlight, like, bro, we could do that. I don't think we got studio backing, bro. Yeah. So we're gonna have to figure this out, you know. So shouts out to you and your team for being so versatile and being you know.
Shout out Dez.
Yeah.
Shout out Jabari.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? Jenkins, both directors and DPs.
Yeah, man.
Who kind of stepped up to the plate to support, you know, us and what we've been doing. I mean, they've been there almost every video.
And to respect that and to pay it back, like I made sure that I was fluid, you know, and I pivoted a lot. You know, a lot of the things that we spoke about in that session didn't come to fruition, you know, one-to-one, but the essence of it still came out of it because I was willing to keep myself open that I don't know everything. I know what I'm trying to accomplish and maybe other people may have better ideas. So when things didn't go how I wanted to go, I didn't throw a tantrum. It's like, okay, cool. I can't get it like that. Okay, well, how can I get it? And a lot of the times, 80% of the times, it came out better than I could have imagined. But that's what you get when you work with people who have vision, you know. And that's one of the things that I was mostly impressed by when it came to you. Like, you got vision. It's hard to articulate vision.
You really
it's either
can't.
You see it or you don't.
Either you got it or you don't have it.
First, you either have it or you don't. But two, when you're collaborating with the person, it's either that other person sees it. I don't know the words, bro.
Yeah.
Do you see it? And that's why if you notice, I always ask you, you see it, right? You're like, no, I see it. And it's like, we just go, you know? So it's kind of hard to communicate that. It's kind of hard to articulate that. Like, you just gotta pay attention, man. And then you gotta move.
Yeah.
Because those moments are fleeting and you just gotta catch it.
Yeah.
It's like, we could sit and talk about it like that. That would have been dope. Yeah.
Right.
You could have got it though, bro. Like,
And that brings me back to an earlier thing that you talked about with Hit Boy, man. You had like a real synergy in the studio with Hit Boy.
Yeah.
We had a real synergy on set.
Yeah.
Every set, we had like real synergy. So I just want to I just want to say this like on camera, man. Just say this out loud. I just appreciate you like trusting me and us, you know, with the album. Like, I know how much this album really meant to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, in a real way. So I just appreciate that.
No, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I know, you know, it could be pretty intense working with a person like me because I move at a pace that's unusual, you know, and and the scale of things I attempt to get accomplished in a short amount of time with limited resources be intimidating. So a lot of people, they get frustrated and they lash out, and then that's how you get checked.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And fired.
Exactly.
You know? But I do my best to be considerate that this might be a little overwhelming for this person. Let me scale it back so that we can try to get something, you know. But even then, to your point, before you continue, man, it's just like, like, people just gotta communicate. Just communicate. Don't be a rigid creative. Don't be a rigid artist.
find ways to figure, because like we're creating art at the end of the day.
Yeah,
nobody has a blueprint
No
of
one
what
has
the
a-
end goal is gonna look like.
No.
I gotta step outside of my own ego. You gotta step outside of your ego, and we just gotta come together to create art. That's all we doing.
We just all trying to,
That's
you
all
know,
we're doing.
What's the word that I'm looking for? It's like you're trying to not figure out. You're trying to translate. You're trying to translate the vibes.
Yeah.
That's all you're trying to do. You're trying to take stuff that's out there that's coming at you, and you don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
You don't know the words for it, but it's as real to you as anything else.
Right.
And you're trying to get another person to see it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not always easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually very not easy a lot of the time.
It's tough.
So when you find a person that on tap gets it,
Yeah.
and even with that as a baseline, you still have things that you gotta massage and try to get like, no, like this, no, like this.
Yeah.
I did that. No, you did it, but you didn't do it. Like, do it. What? How you want me to do it? Let's start over.
I don't know how to tell you how to do it. Just keep trying different things until
and then
we
when
find
you
it.
do it, then I'll say that, and then when it happens, you'll be like, oh, I see it, because it be that's the smallest fraction of degrees away from it.
Right.
You know, and back to the point that I was saying back in the past, I would just settle. Because I knew they didn't have the time, so I'm not gonna go. I'll just take the best that I could get. Yeah, it's cool. It works. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm working with the person like, no, I can fine tune it to exactly
what we wanted to be.
Exactly. You know, and that's rare. You know,
and that's one of my favorite things about watching y'all work together.
Yeah.
Because y'all edit all the videos together.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all back and forth when we did the sitcom, when you did, everything is communication back and forth.
Yeah, man.
And just so you know, we don't coin that rigid creative phrase. That shit's gonna live forever now. Like, I can't deal with, you can't have a big vision and talk to somebody with a small mind.
Nah, bro, no, because we get none accomplished. We get none accomplished. And sometimes, maybe not all the times, because you do need to stand on how it came to you, because you know you don't want to let things interfere with the intention of what how it came to you. But maybe you didn't get all the pieces, and you just was supposed to be the inspiration for it. Yeah. You know, so sometimes you might need to just let go of the reins a little bit to see how far it could go. Mm-hmm. But you're not gonna let it go far if you just, no, it needs to be specifically this way. It's like, bro, we not about to get nothing done.
We're gonna end up fighting if,
you know what I'm saying? Now, it might go that way, and if so, cool. Yeah. But if not, what do we do now? Do we not do nothing now? Is that it? Like, it's a wrap now?
Now we wasted everything.
Now we just wasted everybody. Like, and that's another thing I don't think people take into consideration. Now, I got a vision. Sometimes you have to stop and look around and see how many people are working towards getting your vision done.
Yep.
Maybe listen to one of them.
Yeah.
They may have a different vantage point that you can't perceive because you're in the way.
Yeah.
Just take it into consideration.
Or
maybe.
that piece of it just is not your expertise.
Okay, so knowing that, like, it's a lot of things, and I say this respectfully, it's a lot of things that didn't go how I planned or how I intended it to go. But maybe that was for the better. Again, maybe the way that it came to me was just to spark the concept, to mobilize all of these people so that they can put their input in it to bring me back a better vision.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened a lot of the times. And if I was rigid, I wouldn't have went with like, nah, that's not what I asked for. You know what I'm saying? I want it this way, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude.
But that's dope of you, because you have the tenure to be like that if you chose to be like that. You can say, I'm Musiq Soulchild, I want it like this.
But I know too much to know that I don't know everything. And sometimes you just need to know enough to tell the next person so that they can go find out the rest. That's why I leave a lot of the time. There's a lot of stuff that he did on his own. And I came back like, that's fire. I didn't ask for that, but that's good. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? And there's some things we did a whole bunch of stuff and didn't even use it.
Yep.
But it was still good, but we didn't need it. You just never know how it's gonna, you know, what the outcome is gonna be all the time. You just gotta do.
And that's the process of creating art.
Yeah, you just gotta do, man. And then when we get to, you know, when we gotta put it together, see what works, see what doesn't work. Okay, maybe we could use this for something else later. But you know, but you can't be like, nah, I can only do this much and I only need this much. It's like, you don't know.
Oh, I'm only, like, you only pay for this amount of time and this and that. Like, yo, like, bro.
No, we'll figure that out later.
Let's figure it out right now while we're here.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about that.
We could talk about that stuff later. You know what I'm saying? And whatever way that we got to work through that, we can work through that. But we're working and we're trying to get it done.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're like I said before, if you're loyal to the content, it's always going to come out good. You know. However, you can't be so rigid that you're not open to things that you can't imagine. That now you're making it about you. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about it.
Right.
You know, we're all trying to make something. We're all trying to bring something to life. So we all got to play our part. Your part is that over there. Your part is that over there. You know, we got to collaborate. We got to talk, communicate. Maybe what you thought of ain't it. Maybe it is it, and everybody got to be on your vision. And sometimes you got to pivot off of your vision a little bit so that you can get somebody else's input, because ain't that why you got them there?
Right.
You know, they have some ideas that could work.
Right.
You know, and you shouldn't be ashamed to admit, like, yeah, that was an L. Okay, that wasn't good. Okay, cool. Let's just move on. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm willing to do it. I don't have a problem with that. Every idea that I come up with is not going to be great. But, you know, I'm throwing stuff out there. You know, I got a great batting average, but it's not a perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it leaves room for you to grow.
Right.
You know, you can learn more. You're teachable. You're showable. You know, you're able to amass, you know, a much broader perspective because you're willing to welcome in things that didn't come from you necessarily. Everything ain't gonna come from you. Some things have to come to you.
Yep.
You know, so that's why I like working with people who have great ideas, because I know I'm not gonna think of all of the dopest stuff. But if I lock in with the person that do dope stuff too, we can both find doper stuff.
Go find doper stuff.
Yeah.
I got 2 last questions. One of them I won't ask you, but I gotta ask you on camera.
Okay.
Cause Kayla gonna kill me if I don't ask you this question on camera.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make that the second question.
All right.
My first last question is,
First last.
Damn.
Second to last.
Sheesh.
Favorite Philadelphia artist of all time?
Favorite Philadelphia artist of all time? What are these questions,
I got
bro?
questions, bro.
That's
Gotta pay homage a little bit.
of all time?
This your man's, bro.
That's what I do.
I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know how to answer that question.
So you take it, dang, if this was Drake
I don't
shit-
know how to answer that question.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the second question.
Okay. Sorry.
So, Kayla, one of my good friends, always said she needed to hear from you personally one day before she dies.
Oh, God.
What is the song? What is the inspiration?
Oh, the song Love, I bet.
You knew what I was going to I've asked him before.
Jesus Christ.
Last time I asked him, I ain't recorded. She's like, I got to see him say it.
Okay.
I've been saying this for 20 some odd years.
Hey, man.
It's fine.
Thank you.
You could probably Google this right now.
Thank you.
But fine, since we're here, it's okay. The inspiration behind the song Love was about me having a conversation. It's as if I was having a conversation with love itself. Because, not unlike you, I got some questions.
You see how this thing can do me?
And I was going through a lot back then. So I'm like, I don't want to hear from nobody else. I want to hear from love itself. So if I could talk to love, this is what I would want to talk about. Hey, love, there's so many things I got to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how. There's a possibility you look at me differently, but love, but love, ever since the first moment I spoke your name, from then on I knew that by you being in my life, things, I forgot the words, but love. I sing this song every night.
Oh, man.
The point was, because first of all, let's backtrack, context. By that time, me and my writing partner at the time, Carvin Hagen, shouts out to Carvin Hagens, we was writing these songs. And this is about like the 4th, 5th song, something like that. And I got tired of writing all of these romantic songs, you know? I was like, dude, there's gotta be something else we could talk about. So he had an idea, hey, what if we write a love song that's not a love song, but it's a love song? I was like, you talk about Carv. How is it a love song?
You talking about Willie?
It's not a love song, but it's a love song. But then I was like, I think I get it. It's a song about love, yeah, but it's not a typical talking to a girl song. Like, we're talking about love. And I was like, okay. Like a conversation, you know. I'm paraphrasing the how it happened, but essentially it was kind of like that, and we both agreed like that's the concept for the song. If love was a person, it was right here. How, you know, and that's why it starts like love. Like I'm talking to love, and you know that was my, you know, one of my, you know, therapeutic moments that I was trying to therapeutize myself. I don't even know if that's a word, but
Caleb.
I was trying to, like, you know, I was trying to unpack a lot of things, you know, and that was my way of doing it, because I was really confused about this idea of love and what it meant to other people. Because in the name of love, I got hurt a lot, you know, at that point in time. I'm talking about 2021 at that time. And I've experienced more pain in the name of love than, you know, people I had, you know, beef with, you know, people I fought, I'm over it. But the people that I cared about and who claimed cared about me, like, they hurt me more, you know, than anybody else, you know, and not just, you know, family, but homies, you know, that I really had love for, and they just zagged on me. And I'm like, what? I thought you was gonna zig, bro. Like, you just went left, made a hard left, you know. I just had to eat that, you know. So I was very confused about what people meant when they would say love. Like, man, like, oh, I love you, man. Oh, no, it's all love. Like, what do you mean, though? What do you mean by that? I don't.
Shout out Drewski.
What do you mean by that? I didn't know. So this was a perfect opportunity for me to sort of like talk about it without being too wokey about it, because again, at that time, there was no talk about mental health. There was no talk about awareness. Nobody was talking about their feelings like that, especially as a dude, a black dude. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was talking about their feelings. But I wanted to address something that I felt was really important. Like, we need to have a conversation on what this love shit means, because I don't think everybody got the same interpretation or same intentions of this. So that's what the overall inspiration for the song Love was about. Now I'm aware, painfully aware, of how many people make assumptions about the inspiration of this song. This song was not a church song that I flipped into a secular song. That is not what happened. The song was not called Lord before it turned into Love, because the music industry didn't want me to preach the word of God. That's not what happened.
Why are you killing the conspiracy?
No, it's not a matter of me killing the conspiracy. It's just that how many times do I have to answer this? Yeah. That is not how it happened. Now, if that's the narrative you want to run with, do you? But the answer is, it was always originally, you know, inspired by the concept of having a conversation with love as if love was someone
in front of you
that you could have a conversation with. Now, ironically though, maybe a year or so later, I don't know the math on the timeline specifically, but it got turned into a gospel song. Yeah, by a group called Trinity 5-7.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I pulled up to the session, and Carv was writing it with the girls there, you know, and they just tweaked a few words, you know, and maybe that may be what inspires people to think that, you know, that song came before. No, but it was literally like almost a year later. Wow. You know,
I had never heard that before she said it to me, and even with you saying you heard all that, I never heard that, so I couldn't understand.
I'm going to hear it. Like, I've been hearing this whole
why do you think that? Like,
because I don't know, people have a very strong relationship with that record, and even bigger than I could have even imagined. You know, stronger than I could even imagine. That's why I always say, you know, I'm grateful to people for making that song so big. I didn't think, after I did it, I didn't think nothing of it. I just moved on. I didn't know or think that the song would be as big as it was. I thought it was a good song. I had no way of knowing it was going to be as massive as it became. I don't know. I just do stuff, you know? So when people come to me and be like, yo, what was it like? Bro, I was just doing stuff.
Bro, it was the 13th record.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was a good song. I felt good about it when I did it. But now I'm trying to move on to the next thing. But people like to lock you into that because it means so much to them. And it means a lot to me, but you know how much stuff I did that I think is better than that? But not to you because, you know, you don't have the same relationship and connection with the other stuff that you do with this one. So I like to respect people's perspective on things. You know, I didn't know, I had to catch myself because in the past I used to kill people's dreams. Like, oh, you like that song? Oh, okay. People like, what do you mean? It changed my life.
It's my favorite.
You know, but I had to stop doing that. I had to stop doing that.
I love that song, but it's not even my top 3 record from you.
Some people think that's blasphemous.
I know.
Even for me to say it. Even for me to say it, yeah.
Now, telling you can't say it is crazy, but...
No, people will argue me down about me to me as if I'm not me. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing, but I let them have it. I let them have it because apparently they have more authority than I do.
Man, if you turn on So Beautiful,
Hey.
I don't care where I'm...
Yeah.
It could be the worst day of my life. You turn on that song,
That's a good record, yeah.
it's gonna move me.
Yeah,
So,
that's one of my favorites.
no more questions from me.
That's not true, but go ahead.
All right, man. That's Change Agents. We out.
Okay.
Boom.